Hey, good morning. Happy Monday. We're only 12 minutes late. Good morning. Happy Monday. Welcome back to the work week. Excited to get back to routines. It throws me out. Weekends throw me out. I love weekends, don't get me wrong. Even selling baseball cards from home, I still look forward to weekends. It breaks up the week, even though I didn't really do much different. Slept in a little bit Saturday and Sunday, but it is a nice break. Even though I'm probably working more, like I work through Saturdays and Sundays more so than like Monday through Friday, where I kind of break it in the evening after dinner. So the weekend, I've gone through nearly the entire Goodwill palette. Found some more goodies yesterday. Found a Don Mattingly Topps rookie card. Found some other good stuff. Um, so I went through the tub. I've gone through that giant storage tub. So now I'm starting to. I wanted to get through that tub because that was going to be a mess going through it. So I wanted to get through that, and then I wanted to start kind of getting my rec room cleaned up and stuff because I have boxes everywhere. And I put a bulk post on Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace. I reached out to the guy that was interested in football and basketball. So hopefully I can get some bulk moved here in the next couple of weeks. So I wanted to get that, kind of finished up yesterday and last night. So did that. Still a few more boxes in my car from Goodwill. There are a couple boxes that could be. Actually, there's a box that has some interesting stuff that I've seen on the top. So there could still be some hidden gems within this Goodwill palette. Somebody asked me on Twitter, "Is this the best Goodwill palette yet?" I think it has surpassed the other Goodwill palettes just in quality, quality and quantity of cards. There's good quantity of the quality within this Goodwill palette. Has there been a $500, banger? Not that I can see, not yet, and probably not. But there's a lot of $20 to $50 cards, a lot of $5, $10 cards, a lot of just cool stuff. So I would say this is probably the palette number 2. So this is the 8th palette. Palette number 2, up until now, had that distinction of being the best. That palette I mentioned the other day had the rare Marvel promo card that sold for $400 plus like an entire box of Marvel and other promo cards. I sold like all the common Marvel cards for a couple $100. And then some of the promos sold for another 100. So that was good. And there was a lot of modern stuff in there. There's a lot of modern Bowman in this palette. It looks like somebody had bought a bunch of retail and maybe got into some breaks. So yeah, I think it's overtaken palette number 2. Mike Trout was in palette number, I think that was in palette number 1. The Mike Trout rookie, and then the Giannis ticket stub was in palette number 3, and then 4 through 8 have not had like big ticket items, some smaller ticket items. So let's go to the chat. It's Monday. Happy Monday. We've got Something Sports Cards in the house. Good morning to you. Terry's with us. Fall Creek Collectibles. Victor, good morning. Johnny Boy Cards, happy Monday. Kyle is with us. Never heard of Blowout Cards until you mentioned them a few weeks ago. Got some crazy deals on NASCAR on Blowout over the weekend. Awesome. I love Blowout Cards. They're, by the way, I think I missed this over the weekend. Their Black November deals have begun. And I'm not sure they've changed it up frequently over the last, I don't know, 5 years. But it looks like they've gone back to waves. Now they did away with waves last year, and they were only, which I'm not surprised. And we're going to kind of talk about this today with the state of the card market. Last year, the state of the card market, wax was crazy. Everything was selling. So I'm not surprised you couldn't find good deals on sealed wax in 2021. It's going to be a lot different this year, and it appears that Blowout is going back to their Black November waves. So they unleashed wave number 1 last week. So and this is pretty normal in years. They have done the waves that they release it around Halloween. So yes, it is Black November, yet wave 1 was released in late October. That's just kind of the way it is. So in the past, sometimes they've done waves by week. So say this wave was released on Thursday, then this coming Thursday, they would release wave 2. But they've also released waves like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. That's when those were fun days. So every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, a new wave led up to Black Friday. And then Black Friday, and this has changed throughout the years as well. They have just a bunch of deals coming at you on Black Friday. So this is blowout cards. So wave 1, there wasn't anything that I was interested in from wave 1. By the way, though, if you're into wrestling, those 2017 Topps Heritage WWE hanger boxes, they're back and they're lower than ever. $4.88, which is a fantastic deal. When I bought 48 of these things a few weeks ago, and I think my per box price was $5. There's 32 cards in a box. 32 cards in a box, 488. So let's see, 488 divided by 32, you're paying 15 cents a card, and these singles sell really well. The Alexa Bliss sells for about $10 on its own. I sold a Sasha Banks, I think, for $2.50. Some of the inserts sell for a few bucks. So it's a great deal. $4.88 for a hanger box of 2017 WWE Heritage, which have the design of the 87 Topps. So this is what the 87 Topps WWE Heritage looks like. There's Trish Stratus. So those are fun. And I still have, I'll be ripping some on Saturday, December 10th for the Couch People Christmas party. We're going to have a Rip-a-Palooza. Maybe Rip-a-Palooza will be the subtitle. The Couch People Christmas Party's Rip-a-Palooza. So I think I still have like 30 of those hanger boxes. I opened like 20. And I'm kind of torn. Should I buy even more? I mean, it is a really good deal. So, and they're still up. So they must have just a mountain of these in their warehouse. Zach and Porter in the house. What's up? Good morning. Oh, it is. Buried the lead. It's Happy Halloween. I'm saying Happy Monday. Hey, Happy Monday. Oh, yeah, it's Halloween. Happy Halloween. I've shared that I'm not much of a Halloween guy. We'll turn the porch light on tonight. We'll hand out candy. We'll eat some candy. But as you can see, I did not dress up. George, what's up? Cooter's with us. Where else? Paige and Deanie Bean. Andrew says, nope, none of those Halloween costumes came true. From the first live chat, he disappointed all of us. Happy Halloween, Jenny. Zach says, Trout rookie was number 1. Had it not been, who knows if you would still be rolling the dice with these spitball Perrys. I think you meant pallets. I don't know, unless Perry is a word that I'm not familiar with. So yeah, who knows? Although that first pallet was fun, even without the Trout rookie, there was enough stuff in there that I would have definitely bought a second pallet. Even without the Trout rookie in that first pallet, I would have bought the second pallet. And the pallets just keep giving. Andrew says, oh wait, he is dressed like Louis Tully from Ghostbusters. I don't get that reference. I've seen Ghostbusters, but I don't know who Tully was. Jenny says, Zach, be careful what you remember. Herman might hit you with a LCS. Oh, LRS. Low Roller's not been, he's been absent for a while. David, what's up? Good morning. Zach says, I'm not too worried about Herman. I took a photo of him at the Madison Card Show, and it has since become his media release photo. The residual payments outweigh any slander. Ed is with us. What's up, Ed? Let's see. Here's Andrew. Oh, he's going to link a Ghostbusters IMDb. Tully. Oh, Rick Moranis. Aha. Rick Moranis is such an where's John Keating? I'm saying underrated. I feel like Rick Moranis doesn't get the credit. He was an 80s movie superstar. Let's look at Rick Moranis IMDb. I'm not very good with, I prefer Wikipedia. I'm just going to go to Wikipedia because I know how to navigate it. Which, by the way, the thumbnail today sucks because I tried to use Canva on the desktop and I couldn't. That's also why I was a little late. And I couldn't find a good template to use on Canva. So my thumbnail looks really crappy this morning. So that's why I ended up having to the chart that I made up. I had to email and then use my phone Canva. Anyway, Rick Moranis. I mean, I remember him from, so many movies. I don't really remember him from Ghostbusters as much as some of the others. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. That was probably the one I remember Rick Moranis the most. Little Shop of Horrors. That was a movie that was like that was in my Sunday rotation. When I was a kid, I would watch like a movie on Sunday mornings. Now, I'm speaking to the choir here, preaching to the choir here, because based on my demographics on age that watch these videos. But if any kids are listening or anybody in their 20s, back in the day, we didn't have, I didn't even have cable back in the day when I grew up. We certainly didn't have the internet or streaming TV or any of that. We had to get these bulky cassette tapes, these VHS tapes, and hopefully they were rewound. Be kind, rewind. And so Sunday mornings, I would wake up, and the two movies I remember watching the most on Sunday mornings, like my parents would sleep in. Dad probably drank too many Old Milwaukees the night before, smoking too many GPC lights. So I would wake up early in the morning Sundays, and I had two movies in my rotation, Sunday movies. Like every Sunday, I would watch them in the morning. Rain Man and Little Shop of Horrors. And there were probably some other movies that I would mix in, but those are the two Sunday morning movies that I would watch like on a weekly basis. Rick Moranis, great stuff. Of course, he was in SCTV back in the early 80s. Strange Brew was great. Of course, Ghostbusters, both 1 and 2. Spaceballs, another classic. And then I didn't watch, I'll have to go back, like My Blue Heaven and Parenthood. Those weren't really like kid movies. Like I was 7 and 8 when those movies came out, so I wasn't watching those. And the Flintstones. Of course, I watched the Flintstones. I was a little older when the Flintstones came out, but Rick Moranis, great actor, great 80s actor. He's like one of the 80s actors that like you think of 80s actors, and Rick Moranis comes to mind. He's one of the top ones for me. Let's go back into the chat. Enough Rick Moranis talk for the day. Dean says happy Halloween. Happy Halloween to Dean. Jenny says we are going with a Couch People Christmas party. I love it. We are. Thank you for the suggestion. I love it as well. Red Light 34 is in the house. Michael says, yeah, a Harry Carey costume would have warranted. No Harry Carey for me. What's up, Michael? Spitball Perry, pitcher Hall of Famer named Gaylord, for shame. I don't get the reference as far as pallets go. Perry, pallets. When you said Perry, with the Spitball Perry, Spitball and the pitcher Perry. Okay, now I get it. The Spitball. I'm a little slow. It's Monday. It's Monday morning. I'm a little slow. When I saw Perry's, I was thinking the refrigerator, William Perry. Let's see, where are we at? Jonathan, sports market is down. Sports market is down, asterisk. It's not down. It's only down compared to the COVID boom. So we're going to dive into the numbers. The sports card market is thriving more than it ever has outside of a little window of time during the COVID boom. And we're going to crunch the numbers. Jenny says, you are correct. The market is not down. There is one Twitter guy that believes the recession is real. Unfortunately, the recession is real right now. And the market is down when you isolate the numbers to only look at them from the last 18 months. But if we go beyond that, the card market is still thriving. So we're going to do that today. Matt Weinman, good morning. Cubs man. What's up, Matt? It's Matt's birthday. Happy birthday, Matt. I'm not going to sing happy birthday. I absolutely despise the happy birthday song. I hate it when people sing it to me. I hate it when I have to sing it to other people. I absolutely despise the birthday song. I don't know why. I don't know why. If I'm in a restaurant and somebody like off in the corner is celebrating a birthday and like the waitresses all have to go do the awkward happy birthday song, like then it's like, but if I'm like there, if I'm a part of that party, I absolutely despise the happy birthday song. I don't know if something happened that I've, uh, tried to block out memories from childhood. Uh, but I absolutely hate the birthday song. Let's see. Where are we at? Let's see. Andrew says Wiki read 54321. Jenny is curious what you sell that you were seeing a down market. Andrew says, Bo, really young kids don't get the I didn't have cable reference. That's also true. That's also true. Like what's cable? Let's see. Andrew says, good morning. We have two Andrews in the house. Good morning. Gaylord. Oh, I'm really off today, Zach. Gaylord Perry. Gaylord. It's a palate. Gaylord. Okay. Take it. I need to chug this coffee. I am slow. I am slow. Super slow-mo Bo. Super slow-mo this morning. Gaylord. Sorry, Zach. Zach's probably already ran 7 miles. He's been to the gym. He's had his oatmeal and all of that. And I'm just waking up. Obviously the cobwebs are still in my brain this morning. Let's see. Dean is 7, and he just looked at me and said, "What's cable, Dad?" I mean, that's the thing. And I saw a post, and I think now that when we're of a certain age, that we just think that everybody knows what cable is. Everybody knows what a VCR is. Everybody knows, everybody lived without the internet, which is just not the case. Kind of like the story when I was set up at my card show, the Madison Card Show, and I had probably, I would say the kid was 18, 19 years old, probably high school, maybe into college. He asked me if I had any vintage basketball. Now, to me, and I've done shows on this, vintage is subjective. To me, vintage basket. Now, and I've also explained my thought process behind vintage basketball and vintage baseball. It's different eras for me and how I look at it. But for me, I would kind of say that prior to, actually pretty similar to what I would consider vintage baseball. Excuse me. And I'm like, yeah, there might be some like late 70s, but there's nothing, there's no like old stuff in here. And he's like, oh, okay. And he just kind of like looked, he saw a couple basketball boxes that I had on my table, and there was like a 1990 Hoops Reggie Miller. And he's like, oh, yeah, you've got a bunch of vintage. And so to him, vintage was 90s. And to me, that's just junk, to me. So I think we take for granted. There was a tweet yesterday. There was a Seattle Pilots baseball card. And I think I saw this because John Keating responded. He's like, what? And somebody didn't know. They're like, who are the Pilots? Which if you're 18 years old, like, and really to his defense, the Pilots weren't around for that long. Like what, a year, 2 years? So like, it's like you can know some history on baseball, but the Seattle Pilots, like, yeah. Like I get it. Sometimes we take for granted our age and we're a little older. Let's see. Jenny says, this is not 2007 to 2009. Trust me, that was a recession. Houses underwater for 50K that were 200K. It is still, by definition, we are currently in a recession. And I think, I don't want to go into this, but I think hopefully I'm wrong here, but I think we're still, we're not out of the woods. We're not out of the woods. Let's see. Matt says just another day. Let's see. Who bought a house in last year is upside down now? Anyone who bought a house in the last year is upside down. Now the mortgage rate over 6%. This is beyond a recession. I would agree with that. Mortgage rates are absolutely crazy. I think R is 2.7% because we refinanced when when mortgage rates were like super low during the pandemic. Let's see. I'm just gonna avoid the recession talk because I'm not. I just don't want to talk on that. Talk amongst yourselves. Let's see. John says, "Is it Tuesday yet?" Asking for Russell Wilson. Let's see. So, what else is going on? The Bears played yesterday. They played the Cowboys, and I expected a loss by Chicago. I was pretty happy with the result. I mean, not the loss, but I was happy that the Bears put some points on the board. The defense allowed a lot of points. But what was the score? Like 42-27 or 42-29 or 49-29. But hey, 29 points. That's good for the offense. Justin Fields, 17 for 23, 151 yards, threw 2 touchdowns. He was sacked 4 times. Herbert rushed for 99 yards. Fields rushed for 60 yards. So that's so I was pretty happy with that. I was not expecting a win. Let's see. Andrew says Eagle. EAGLE. Let's see. Where are we at? Matt says I need Justin Fields 300 yards one game. I like Justin Fields, and I've said Justin Fields is going to I think he's going to be a really good quarterback. I think I said he's going to be a great quarterback at one. I don't want to go that far. I don't want to say Justin Fields is going to be a great quarterback, but I think Justin Fields is going to be a really good quarterback. He just needs some talent around him. It's hard. I have some friends who they're Packers fans, and they were criticizing some of his decision making, but he's young, and B, when you're running for your life every play because the offensive line is weaker than the opposition's defensive line and defense, it's hard to make good decisions when you're always on the run. So I think in time, he'll make better decisions. Hopefully in time, the Bears will get, strengthen that offensive line. Fields will have more time to make good decisions and all that. Where are we at? John says CBS waited until the third quarter to show Mike Trout in the stands. I was worried. Centex Rocket in the house. If people think these rates are bad, they're showing their age or lack thereof. I think my parents were around 11% in the 80s. Yeah, and we could potentially see double digits next year. Let's see. John says Bears points scored were adjusted for inflation. Really didn't score that many. So there you go. I thought I brought some cards in here from the pallet. I did not. So let's talk why the card market is not down. Cooter says some of us remember 21% interest rates. And we're going to talk, let's talk numbers. So I see a lot on social media, on Twitter, the card market, YouTube videos. The sky is falling. Look at these prices. The Michael Jordan rookie card today sold for X amount. It was 5 or 6 times a year ago. But what they fail to recognize is how much it was 2 years ago, 3 years ago. And kind of like the chart that's in the thumbnail, look at where 2017, 2018 was. And those actually are real numbers. So the chart that I used are my actual, in actually I kind of, it's not completely accurate. It's actually, I fudged it to fit my narrative. I'm admitting it, but the numbers actually look better than that chart. So I took my volume sold. Now there's always, now I want to explain this because I don't want people to come at me and say, yeah, but. So first I'm going to explain the card market. Well, let's talk about the card market and why I believe it's healthier than ever. I believe the card market is healthier than ever because we are in a much better position in the card market than where we were at in 2019, 2018, and especially 2017 and beyond. The card market actually started gaining momentum in 2018. And ironically, it's because of Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge came up in April of 2017. And so I guess halfway through 2017 is when we started seeing that spike. And I've mentioned this, and let me write this down because I've got a lot of thoughts going through my head about me ripping and flipping in 2016 and 2017. So Aaron Judge kind of spiked that. In 2018, we had Shohei Ohtani come. So that was another. And we had this boom on rookies. Aaron Judge took the world by storm in 2017. We had Ohtani in the first part of 2018. And then by the second half of 2018, we have a Topps update release that featured arguably the best update rookie classes of all time, Ronald Acuna, Juan Soto, and the list goes on. It's kind of, when I go through that rookie checklist of 2018 update, it's like, oh man, I forgot it had him and him and him and him. So it was super strong. And then 2019, we had Alonso and Vlad Jr. and Tatis. And then we kind of, went down, but then all of a sudden the pandemic skyrocketed everything. So we look at it, and in all of the numbers I see on the YouTube videos, on the tweets, it's always, here's the numbers. Look at how far the market's down year over year, or from January 2022 to October 2022, which, is it down? Yes. 100%. Absolutely. Is it a surprise? No, not at all. And I think many of us in 2020, in 2021, be careful. Don't fall into the trap of buying all this, hoarding wax, buying slabs. It's going to come back and bite you. That's my mindset during this is what led me to do this full time, because I was selling when everybody was buying. Now, not everybody is buying, but that's okay, because I think we brought in a lot of bad apples during the pandemic. We brought a lot of people that wanted to make a quick buck, go to Target and clear $20 blasters and sell them for $80 on Facebook Marketplace, and all that. So I think once they realized, oh crap, there's not a quick buck to be made, we lost those. But what we kept were the good collectors. The guys like Zach and Porter, who came in during that boom, but they're good for the hobby. What we lost is some of the bad eggs that just wanted to go to Target and clear the shelves and fill their carts with blaster boxes. And we lost some of that, which I think is good. So we kind of isolate those numbers and we look, oh my gosh, the market's down X% from January to now, when we're not looking at the prior history, even going back 2 years. So I wanted to just look at numbers, my numbers, and Triple E is part of the reason why I saw this, because he's made some tweets about the market, but it's only isolating it to the last year, where we all should have known that the market was going to come down. It wasn't going to just continue going. I mean, the card market went parabolic in late 2020, early 2021, and through 2021. And I knew, and I think most of us knew, that wasn't going to last. So I wanted to look at, and I asked Triple E on Twitter, what are your numbers like? What are your 5-year numbers? What are the 5-year numbers? Because I think he's using Terapeak, so I wanted to look at that. I didn't look at the Terapeak numbers, and I don't know if they go back that far. He said they didn't, and I haven't looked within mine, but I did want to look at my personal numbers. I guess I could go and check it. Again, Terapeak is not something I'm super familiar with. Let's see, research Terapeak. I couldn't. I tried and I couldn't figure out how to search categories. That's why I didn't do it. So I won't bore you with trying to clunk around the Terapeak. If somebody does know how to search by category within Terapeak, let me know. Drop it in the chat. So, but I did look at. I wanted to look at my numbers just to kind of share what I'm seeing from a 5+ year perspective. So, and again, so I want to be clear. Just because I don't want to give you a false narrative when I'm saying, well, you can't just isolate the numbers from the last 6 months, and I'm leaving out details as well on my numbers. So I'll share these numbers, but I'm also going to defend the numbers and offer the counterpoints and the added details, what these numbers don't show you. So 2018, and I'll explain each year kind of where I was at in the hobby. 2018, I had an eBay store. I was selling. Obviously, it was just kind of a side hustle. And I sold about 2,200 items through the year 2018, calendar year 2018. My volume sold was about 2,200. 2019, much the same. I was selling as a side hustle, had an eBay store, and I sold just under 2,000 items. So it came down a little bit from 2018. 2020, 10,565 cards sold in 2020. Again, part-time side hustle. I had a little bit more time on my hands through 7-8 months of 2020 because of the pandemic. 2021, 19,401 items sold in 2021. Now, there's a qualifier here. I started full-time in 2021, but not until mid-October. I think October 16th, 17th is basically my first full day selling cards. So, little asterisk, I was selling full-time. Now, 2022, to date, as of starting this video, I have sold 24,335 cards this calendar year up until about 7 a.m. this morning. So 24,335. All of 2021, I sold 19,401. But again, only 3 months selling full-time last year and a full 10 months in 2022. So is the market down from last year? Yes, absolutely. Because you would think if I'm selling full-time in 2022, those numbers should be much higher than only 3 months of 2021, where I sold 19,400 items. Not surprised at all by those numbers. What I was surprised about these numbers, breaking down these are, again, my personal sales by volume throughout the last 5 years. I was shocked at the increase from 2019 to 2020 because going back, and I think 2017, I didn't have the numbers, but I would say probably around 2,000 as well. Probably would have been around that 2,200 mark because I was ripping and flipping a lot in 2017, but I was also selling on Sportlot, so that took some of my sales. So I was shocked at the increase in volume sold between 2019 and 2020. 2,000 items to 10,000 items in 1 year. And that was going from 2019 to 2020. Again, the only thing that changed was I had more time on my hands in 2020 than I did in 2019. And another thing that I will add in, 2018, 2019, and 2020, I probably averaged 1,000 to 1,500 active listings in my eBay store. That number ticked up throughout the year 2020 because eBay for store owners allowed additional free listings. But for the first 4 to 5 months of 2020, I only had 1,000 to 1,500 listings on eBay, yet I still sold over 10,000 in 2020. 2021, I was probably, so that was last year. my listings in 2021, and this is going to show you how much the market has changed within the last year. 2020 throughout 2021, I probably averaged 3,500 active listings throughout the year. Like if you took a snapshot of my daily active listings throughout the year 2021, probably 3,500, right around that point. Now this year it varies, so I can actually share, because I have kept track through 2022. So I can actually go back to December. So December 20th last year, I was at 8,000 active listings, which had gone up significantly. When I started full time in mid-October, I was at 3,500 active listings. I have it written down on my whiteboard somewhere. 35. I was at about 3,500 active listings in October of 2021. By the end of December, I was up to 8,600. So January 1st of this year, my active listings was 9,657. And currently I'm at about 26,000, about 25,500. So that shows you that on an average of 3,500 active listings throughout the year of 2021, I sold 19,400 items. 2022, let's see, let's just split the middle between where was I at January 1st? 9,600, 26,000. So 16, 8. So let's add 8, say 15,000 active listings on average, which is about 5 times more. And I've only sold 5,000 more cards to date. I still have, 2 full months to go. So that number will tick up, but that does show you. So if I isolate, I could go on and say, look at, I averaged 3,500 active listings in 2021 and sold 19,400 cards. 2022, I'm averaging 16,000 active listings and I've only sold 24,000 items. Just based on those numbers alone, yes, that's a stark decline. That's a drastic decline in sales. Does that mean the card market is down? Well, yes, comparatively speaking, from 2021, the market is down. Of course, I think we all know that. But is it down last 5 years? We have to look at the trends. We can't isolate. You're not looking at chart. If you're looking at the stock market, if you're picking stocks, are you looking at a 1 week chart, a 1 month chart? No, absolutely not. You're looking at the historical charts. And we have to do that with the card market. I look at card shows. I promote a card show. I set up at card shows. I attend card shows. Are they down? Well, from January of 2022, yes. From even June of 2021, no. Like the Madison Card Show didn't really hit its stride until probably November of 2021. I would say November 2021 through April 2022. That was the peak for the Madison, and I'm isolating it to the Madison Card Show. Because I'm going up and down. I'm in the room. I have a really good grasp at attendance. The other card shows I can't speak to. I can kind of give, a little bit of an idea, but for the Madison Card Show, it seems like November through April, that was the peak of card show. And you may think, well, the boom was started still during the pandemic, but the April card show in 2021 in Madison had 17 tables, and I think we had about 150 people through the door. May of 2021, a little better. I think I had 23 dealers, 23 tables, and I think maybe 175 people walked through the door. And I know that because I took admission in April and May, and then it's just like, okay, it's a hassle to find somebody to take money at the door. So then it became free admission, and now I don't know. But just kind of looking at the room, November, I didn't do a show last December. So November, January, February, March, and April, that was like the boom. January was definitely the peak at the Madison Card Show specifically, January 2022. But does that mean like the card shows are the card show is down? I'm still selling out 125 tables. We're still getting good traffic. Is it as good as it was last winter, last spring, this past spring? No. But it's still good. The market before the pandemic, the only card show in Madison had about 12 dealer tables. I don't know how, I didn't go there enough to really get an idea of traffic, but it was a really small show. And it was what it was. So is the card market down? Yes and no. I mean, if we want to isolate it to comparing 12-month numbers, yes, it's down. And I think we all knew that. But if you go back 3 years, is the card market down? No, it's actually in a much better place than what it was in 2017, 2018, 2019, and really probably even 2020. So I'm going to get to the chat. I just wanted to go on that soapbox, and I just wanted to share, I don't want to completely like play Pollyanna and avoid that the card market is down. It is down, but is it down in the grand scheme of things? No, it's down if we isolate it to 1 year, but in the grand scheme of things, it's up, and I think it's healthier than ever. Is everything selling at what we want it to sell for? No, but we knew bull PSA 10s weren't going to sell for whatever they were selling for back in 2021. We should have known. We should have known that wasn't going to continue. So let's jump back into the chat. Let's see. Matt says every $1 US printed right now is backed with $5 in debt, largest in history, period. John says there's a reason our parents didn't have credit card debt. My parents' mortgage was 15 to 16%. U.S. economy has never been this down. There's a reason Russia is trying to back the ruble with gold and take over as the world reserve. Let's see. Cooter says, take it from an Okie. October 1929 to December 1941, economy was far worse than today. That was the Great Depression. Let's see. Jenny says, I got better things to do with my time than this nonsense. Let's see. Matt says, we all hope wax card prices go down. And I mean, essentially, yes. I mean, this is, for me, it's a double-edged sword, because as collector me wants card prices to be cheap so I can add to my collection. But putting food on the table me says I need prices to stay up so I can make money and make a living. Matt says, do you think wax prices will go down when Fanatics takes over? No. Do I think it's going to be better when Fanatics rules the card world? I do. I actually do think it will be better. The funny thing, I don't understand the doom and gloomers on Fanatics, because for so long, everybody complains about Topps. Topps sucks. The distributors are terrible. Well, we're taking all of that out of the equation now. Why? I don't understand. Will card prices go down? No. Will card prices go up? Maybe a little bit, because everything will go up. Do I think they'll go up astronomically like what we've seen over the last 3 years? Probably not. But I think access to cards will be much easier. If Fanatics was in control during the retail craze, I don't think there would have been a retail craze. I think there would have been accessibility to most everyone. Would it have been cheaper? No. Would it have been more accessible? Yes. That's my thought process. John says, what's gone down lately is my bladder capacity. Stacks and Packs is with us. What's up, Stacks and Packs? Cooter says, that's no joke. John had to pee twice during my local card shop visit on Saturday. When Wilford Brimley talks, I now listen. Cooter says, at least during the 80s, we could get calories from the gum if things got really bad. Yet another reason not to rip modern wax. Let's see. Brian Dean is with us. What's up, Brian? Sold 2 more Leaf Auto rookies on Sunday. Very nice. Let's see. Stacks and Pack says him and Jenny are like peas and carrots. Zach says playing catch up. Best I've ever felt after a loss. Ideal scenario, which Porter hates. We lost, but Fields gets better each game. That's what I'm rooting for. Improved draft position. We know it's, and I know it kind of goes against the whole sport, trying to lose. It's not that I want them to try to lose. I want them to play good football. But if they lose, hey, that's just icing on the cake. And yes, I want Fields to improve. Essentially, I want the Bears to lose, but I want them to play good football. I don't want them to get smoked. Yesterday was a good scenario. Justin Fields plays a good game, put 29 points on the board. Defense gives up 49. Hey, at least it's a fun game to watch. That's my thought process. Zach and Porter says, get him a line and some decent weapons, and you have a competitive team. I completely agree. It's gonna take a lot, though. It's gonna take more than a couple draft picks. It's gonna take, it may be a process. But the NFL's weird. You could go from being this, and all of a sudden it may only take one wide receiver and one offensive lineman to really shore up the team. And they're a playoff team next year. I mean, the NFL's wacky like that, which does kind of make it fun. Let's see. Zach says Packer fans jumping off their team faster than people selling Top Shot. Oh, there you go. Top Shot. There's a reference we haven't heard in a long time. That is what frustrates me living here. Spoiled QB talent has fans under 60, not understanding the ebbs and flows. I'm pretty proud of myself. I did not text message my Packer friends and rub it in. Usually I do, but last night I was feeling nice. And I almost did. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be nice tonight. Let's see. Centex Rocket says, look up the mortgage rates of the 80s. Diego, what is up? Long time. Question, could the boost and the consistency in card show be because of cash transactions? That's a really good point. I think it very well could be, especially from a dealer standpoint. Here's what I'm seeing in card shows, and I'm starting to see I'm starting to see where I said, the Madison card show has been a sellout dealer wise for most of 2022. It's been a sellout show. But I'm starting to see regulars drop out. I'm starting to see regular dealers say, I'm going to stick close to home. I'm only going to do this show. I might come walk your show floor in the future, but I'm starting to see that. I'm starting to see a couple like, I'm just not going to do cards as much anymore. I'm starting to see that. So I'm starting to see that transition, which I knew and I know is going to happen. The Madison Card Show will not be a 2-floor, 125 table show for the next 10 years. I wouldn't be surprised if this time next year it's back to being on one floor, being an 80 table show. It might be a 40 or 50 table show. The card market from the last year is, yes, in a decline. And I think there's still going to be more decline coming in the next year. So I'm well aware that I'm in a good position with the Madison Card Show at this current time. But it's not going to be flowers and unicorns for the foreseeable future. I would not be surprised if, and I think this is just generally speaking for card shows. I also think there's a lot of bigger shows, regional shows, the national Nashville. I think there's going to be, how it's going to settle. We're going to have obviously the national on a yearly basis. That's not going to change. And then I think we're going to have smaller nationals, like on a quarterly basis. And I think the consumers will decide which shows those will be. And I have a feeling Burbank is going to be one. Dallas is going to be another. Nashville's going to be another, and maybe another will be Dallas. I don't think the Dallas card show, I don't think, my thought process here is every 2 months, that's not going to be the huge show it has been in the last couple of years, because I think people are going to, well, there's a Burbank show next weekend. I'm going to skip Dallas because I want to go to Burbank. I can go to Dallas in 2 months. So I think it's diluting. We are diluting the card show waters. And so I think eventually it's going to settle. There's going to be a large, national type card show as far as dealers, not, sponsors and companies. But I think it's going to be quarterly basis where, Rob's show in Burbank is going to be the big show that quarter. Dallas is going to be the go-to show this quarter. Next quarter, it's going to be in Nashville. And then the next quarter, who knows? Maybe it's a show that isn't even on the radar yet. That's my thought process. And just kind of from my viewpoint and where I feel things are going. Dan is with us. What's up, Dan? Fanatics will lower prices if no one buys. Otherwise, they are running a business, not a charity. By lower, I mean lower price, but fewer cards in the packs boxes, candy bar repricing. I think they'll do the opposite, where they'll keep prices the same and lower the amount of cards. So let's just use a flat $20 blaster box, where a Topps, I know Topps is 100 cards, where a Topps blaster box is 100 cards for $20. Now it's going to be $20, but you only get 80 cards. That's where I could see they don't change the price point, but they give you less cards. Similar concept. But I don't see the dollar sign. I don't see the dollars dropping, but I see the volume of what you receive dropping. Steve Ains Comedy is in the house. What's up? Good morning. George is with us. I think everybody for eternity has always been doom and gloom. Oh yeah, absolutely. We're in the baseball card hobby. There's always something to complain about. Now we're complaining because the sky is falling over the last year. A year ago, we were complaining because there was no product on the shelves and flippers. And then now there's product on the shelves and it's, oh my God, it's overproduced. No, it's not overproduced. There's just less demand. And people aren't, one or two people aren't clearing shelves. The people that actually want the product can go into Walmart, can go into Target. They can buy one or two blaster boxes and leave some for the kids. That's where we're at. It's not like they 10x'd production. It's just not as many people want the products that are on the shelves. So yes, we are doom and gloomers in the baseball card hobby. Let's see. I echo Zach's sentiments. Hope, Dan, you are feeling better. Stacks and Packs says, I don't think Wax would have been more accessible still if Fanatics owned it. Then they use the same printer and can't keep up. Now, what I'm talking about is the distribution, not the actual printing of the product, but the distribution, where, I think they snuff out the Walmarts and the Targets, and Fanatics is the distributor, and they put limits. So you can't buy 50 blaster boxes of Prism, or actually that's Panini, right? You can't buy 50 blaster boxes of Bowman. You're limited to 10 or 5 or 3. That's where I'm talking limited distribution, where they're cutting out the middlemen that are the middlemen to Walmart they're cutting out MJ and XL. So that's where I think it's going. They're going to cut out XL and MJ, or limit what they have. So much of the retail product is available at Fanatics, and then MJ and XL get their allotments. But if you can't find it in the stores because people are hoarding it in stores, you can get it on the Fanatics website. That's where I was coming from. Let's see. Stacks and Packs says, I read Cosmic is $250 a box and not even a guaranteed auto. That's absurd. What is Cosmic? I don't even know what Cosmic is. Clark says, do you track the time it takes to sell a card in your store? If you're talking like time from listing, no. Like I track the time the entire process of me listing, picking, packing, and shipping is about a minute per card. As far as how long it takes me to sell a card, no, absolutely not. There's really no value for me in doing that. It's, if if I had the time to do that, I should not be doing this full time. Because I haven't, it's taking all the time of the day to ship and list. And I'm, shipping plenty of cards per day. If I had the time to actually do reports, I would be doing something wrong. Let's see. Brian says, try being a Lions. My buddy Brandon's a Lions fan, and I feel bad. I do. I feel bad for Lions fans. Even coming from a Bears fan. Cooter says, what's the big box over your right shoulder? Background looking more like a Hoarders episode. Yes, it is. So this is actually just, those are just bubble mailers. Those are my eBay bubble mailers from my coupon, my eBay store coupon. So I think there's 200. I think 200 come in that box. So the big box holds 2 smaller boxes. So I've got one open, and I just need to get rid of the big box and put the other smaller box in the storage area. Let's see. Dallas will contract. I agree. I think there's just not room. There's so much other competition among large card shows nationwide that people don't need. People want to see, it's just, you want to see different scenery. And for the last 2 years, outside of for a period of time, 2020 through 2021, Dallas was like the only place to go. I don't mean that specifically, but that was like everybody went to Dallas. Now there's Burbank and there's Nashville. Now there's other places to go. It's like, I'm not going to go to Dallas every 2 months when I can go to Southern California or Nashville, like in Vegas. So yes, I definitely think, maybe twice a year, Dallas is the place to be, but it won't be 6 times. That's what I said. Same price, fewer cards, candy bar pricing. Oh, aha. I'm sorry. I misread the comment. Yes. Okay. By lower, I mean lower, fewer cards. Okay. Gotcha. Let's see. So that's what I had for today, going on an hour. So yeah, essentially, is the card market down? Well, it is, and it's not. It is from the last year, but if we go back the last 3 years, 4 years, and especially 5 and 6 years, and really the numbers that I shared earlier, this was technically the boom was on in 2018. It just went straight up parabolic in 2020 and 21. But if you go back to I wish I had numbers. eBay doesn't. I don't think eBay has my numbers. I wasn't able to see my numbers in 2017. I don't think it goes back that far. But I would love to see 2013, 14, 15, because those are pitiful. And I really didn't start selling again heavily on eBay until probably 2013. Let's see if I can customize. Let's see if I can go back to 2017. I don't think I can, because otherwise I would have. No, it's auto correcting it to 2018. So doesn't show 17 and beyond. Stacks and Packs says, taking the Chrome brand into outer space, Cosmic Chrome Baseball showcases a variety of distinct MLB designs. Although this is a new Chrome iteration, the set's overall style evokes Bowman's best and Topps finest, or maybe a Chromium Topps Fire. Interesting. Does not sound like a product to me, especially when you gave me that price quote of, what'd you say, $250 a box. Nah, not for me. And that's another thing. I did want to bring up sealed wax. I wrote it down. I wrote it down for a reason, so I would talk about it, and I almost failed to talk about it. I had a chat yesterday regarding ripping and flipping. So, and this is something that I am very familiar with, because in 2016 and 2017, I was ripping and flipping cases, probably 20 cases altogether in that year and a half, in about a year and a half time span. I think I still have those numbers, and I'll take a look at those and report back tomorrow with my findings. But what I shared was, so the person I was chatting with ripped a jumbo case of Topps Update at release, at right now, and it just released, and basically his price was whatever it was. It came out to be 40 cents per card. And I saw that and I'm like, oh, there's no way you can make money on that, because unless you get lucky, now it becomes a gamble. It's not a strategy to rip and flip to on those. My thought process is getting that price per card down to a reasonable point. And also with Topps Update, there's a lot of veteran base that is a tough sell at $1.50 free shipping. You're not going to move, especially once you get past the 1 week mark. Topps Flagship is one of the worst products after the first week, because it just sits and sits. I mean, I have Topps that didn't sell at release that's just sitting in my eBay store inventory, and at 40 cents, because basically at my net profit on $1.50 free shipping is right around 40 cents. And it depends on your supply, your overhead. You know, if you don't have a store, you're in an additional 1% on the fees. You know, what are you paying for supplies? What are you paying for envelopes? You know, every penny counts. Your profit might only be 25 cents, 30 cents. And if you're paying 40 cents a card for Topps Update, you got to be really lucky on some of the hits. So I saw that, and it's like, and so I shared, you know, and I've talked about 2017, and that's the last year I was buying a case of Bowman. Now I've bought some hobby boxes here and there of Bowman the last couple of years, but 2017, my hobby case of Bowman was $797 for a 12 hobby box case, and I lost money. Not just a little bit. Like my net loss, like I lost about $200. And that was in 2017 when I was even selling Cubs. Like I was selling everything out of that box case. But Topps Heritage in 2017 was a big moneymaker because the singles were selling really well. The singles in the Heritage market not moving as well as they used to 5 years ago. Those singles from up until about 2018, and then the Heritage market really kind of died off. 2017 was kind of peak Heritage. So, you know, I made decent money, but then I lost it back on Bowman. And then maybe the next product I broke even. My margins were super small when I was ripping and flipping cases. Now, and here's a little background. The card market was certainly not where it is today in 2017. There was much less demand and people buying cards in 2017 than now in 2022. But also a case of Bowman was $800, where today it's $3,000. So yes, today there's more demand, but you're paying 4 to 5x for some of these products. So let's see. Bruce says, what's up, Bruce? What, if anything, will you do to increase your bottom line? So that's so right now there's I'm not taking any dramatic steps to do that. The only thing I'm doing currently is just trying to better my efficiency, because I have the inventory. You know, I don't need to buy any more inventory. I have plenty to list and list and list. So it's not an inventory, but I'm always looking to, you know, increase that price per card sold. You know, the Goodwill pallets is a great way to, you know, pay, you know, pennies on the dollar and you know, potentially get, it's kind of a gamble too. But there's enough volume there that it makes it, you know, almost an easy win. But, you know, finding bulk deals. And I think and this is something that I've looked into. I just need to educate myself more on the higher end market, but it's not my lane, and I want to stay in my lane. And this is a topic that I was taking the dog for a walk this weekend, and this is something that I wanted to touch on. Actually, I need to text a friend back. I forgot to reply back. It's all about staying in your lane. And that's a great question. And sometimes what I'll get asked, or I'll have a suggestion. You should do this. You should do this. You should sell soccer and hockey cards. You should sell this. You should sell that. And it's like, that's not my lane. And I'm trying to become as expert as I can in the lane that I chose. And I'm doing this the way I do it because I'm good at it, and I can make money and make a living doing it. So I don't want to recreate the wheel. Is that the saying? You don't want reinvent the wheel. I don't want to reinvent the wheel. But probably the next step, and that is a good question. To increase the bottom line, obviously in business, that's what you're always looking to do. But it's to increase the card per sold, where it's, instead of buying a dime box for $50 and trying to turn it into 500 to 1,000, buy a box for 1,000, like the collection I bought a couple of weeks ago. And I really I got lucky on that. I gave him a number. I didn't know some of the values in that. Now, $2,000, if I would have paid $2,000, I'd be a little more worried. I have not, net sales. I'm still at a loss on that $1,000 purchase. I've sold a lot of cards. I've sold a good amount of cards, and I still have a lot of good stuff remaining, either listed still or unlisted, that I have yet to go through. So I will make a decent return on that, but I really didn't know, and I threw out, this is the number I'm comfortable with, and he agreed to it, which that's where I got lucky, because he may have said, nah, I'll pass, and then I lost out on an opportunity just because I wasn't educated on the basketball card market. And that's, one of the reasons I don't want to spend $1,000. If it's $1,000 and somebody says, oh, you can make 2,000 or 3,000, well, could I? I don't know. So I think essentially that's, maybe try that. And as I continue building and continue growing the business, I'll feel more comfortable making, bigger purchases like that, buying bigger collections and scaling up in that regard. So that's probably the next step. John says, I assume he'll keep buying bulk and lower prices and turn and burn the singles. That strategy will always work, as it involves elbow grease, which a full-timer has in abundance of. Absolutely. And so just kind of, John said it perfectly, much more eloquently than I stated it. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, but I do have to be prepared for if it stops working. It's kind of like the SWOT analysis, identifying your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And one of the threats that's beyond our control, my control, is what if the card market continues this decline and it becomes worse than it was in 2008, when nobody was buying cards. That's a possibility, and I have to be prepared for that. What happens if eBay cancels the standard envelope and I no longer can and my postage goes up, or that's outside my control, and so I will have to pivot in some capacity. So I do have to be I do have to have that at the forefront. Like, there may be instances that arise that are outside of my control that I will have to make some changes. At this current time, I will not. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. Stacks and packs, turn and burn. There you go. Let's see. Bruce says, ever tried selling mystery packs, like chasing a high-end dollar card for your regular base customers? No, I hate mystery packs. I never say never, but I will never sell mystery packs. Never say never, but I will never sell mystery packs. Terry says, I looked on Blowout to buy Update yesterday. Everything was sold out. I did notice that because I wanted to see what the price per card was. So I had the guy that I was chatting with gave me his price. And then so I looked up to see the volume. It's like, oh wow, it's also. I don't know if the other big box retailers are sold out. Dave and Adams or Steel City, but I did notice Blowout was sold out. Now, are they really sold out? I don't think so. I bet Blowout has a warehouse full of Topps Update. And why? Well, because look at 2018 Topps Update and look at where those prices went. Case prices in about a 2-year time span went from $500 to $5,000. I bought a 2018 Topps Update case from Blowout on Black Friday 2018 for $500. Actually, I think 450. And I flipped it about 3 months later in 2019 for 1800. And then during the boom, it went up to 5,000. And I think they're probably still. I don't think the market's really dropped on 2018 Topps Update sealed wax. Let's see, 2018 Topps Update case. Let's see. Category trading cards, sealed box. We'll just go sealed box to see how much a sealed box is. Wow. So a jumbo case is, now these are listed prices. I'm going to look at sold next, but listed prices for 2018 Topps Update, a jumbo case, $7,500. A retail box, factory sealed 12 box case, $10,000. A blaster case, Jesus. And I bought a blaster case and ripped it. $4,800. My blaster case was like $250. $4,800. Now let's take a look and see. So 5,000 was a low estimate, at least based on listed prices. Okay, so here's a blaster case was sold at best offer. It was listed for $3,500, but still a couple thousand. So doesn't look like anything have sold. But there you go. Where are we at? Zach says Casey's Pizza is increasing the bottom line. John says, looking forward to the Never Sell Mystery Pack soundbite on SCR a year from now. Funny. Terry says, I picked up a couple blasters at Barnes & Noble on Saturday. Want to buy at least 2 or 3 more. I did get 3 I didn't go to Target yesterday. Maybe I'll swing by. There's a Target that's literally that I drive. If I go anywhere outside of the Quick Trip, which is in the opposite the only thing in the opposite direction is Quick Trip and cornfields. So anytime I go that way, I go right past Target. So it's not out of my way. I'll stop in to see if there's anything to rip. Now that I'm not like overwhelmed with my Goodwill palette, I'm starting to get things cleaned up. I warned my wife, do not come downstairs, please. We bought a bunch of, she bought a bunch of like little stuff for the new house, like toilet paper roll holder, like things like that from Amazon. So we just had a pile of boxes on our porch yesterday. And I'm like, where are you going to put those? It's like, well, in the basement. I'm like, okay, I will take them down because right now the basement, you don't want to see it. It will give you a panic attack. So I will let you know when you can come downstairs. Let's see. Zach says, Ty from Bench Clear hosts Bo to talk about all of his success around selling mystery packs. Grading cards broke the seal. Now he focuses on resealed hockey and soccer mystery packs. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Again, the card market is down if you only isolate it the past year, but the card market is thriving if you look back 3 years plus. We're in a good spot. I think the hobby is very healthy at the moment. One more comment. Steve says, is football in Card Dealer Pro still low accuracy? I bought 19 660 count boxes of 25-cent box cards over the weekend, and I started with football. Seems like the batches are 50 to 70% accurate. I've been doing some football listing, and it's been pretty around 70%. So 70% accuracy is really, really good. And I think that's the best you're going to get out of any AI right now. No matter if it's Card Dealer Pro, Chronazio, if it's one of the apps, it's like Center Stage. I think 70% accuracy is really good. So if you're getting 50 to 70% accuracy, that's good. That's a good mark. So that's what I had for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like button if you like the content, even if you didn't. Subscribe to the channel. I think I'm only like 5 subs away from 2,000. I hit a growth spurt yesterday. Where am I at? 1,995. 1995. What a great year. Which, by the way, is going to be the setting. That 90s show is coming out like the end of this year or early next year. I think it's coming to Netflix. So I'm looking for, I read an article about that, and it's set in 1995. So how cool is that? I'm looking forward to that. So like and subscribe. Thanks for joining. Great chat today. Have a great Monday. Happy Halloween, and we'll talk tomorrow.